are you? There we go. Ah, uh-huh, uh-huh. Getting everything situated here as we go live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a healing conversation today. We are having what I would consider a really meaningful and inspiring discussion. And the title of our discussion is Unmasking Love. We're talking about relationship rescue and everything about healthy relationships today. And I'm so thrilled to introduce our extraordinary guest for today. And I missed her because we used to be on Fly Nubian Queen together, and I loved her comments. And I was so excited to bring her on here to talk about healthy relationships. Her name is Shar Curry. I think she's dynamic. She is all we were sitting here before the show talking about wellness and talking about healthy relationships, personal development, all of these things. And she has 4 books out. I read your bio, 4 books. Are you an actress too? What?
I do a little bit of acting. Yes, I do.
She is multi-talented, Shar Curry. And she also is a motivational speaker, which is really awesome. Has her certification in counseling, and she helps people with strategizing on their relationships. And I really enjoy talking to her and listening to her because she has a passion for healthy relationships and mental wellness, just as I do. So here to empower us with her wisdom and all of her insights today is Shar Curry. Welcome, Shar.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Alicia. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yes, you've been on my mind. You've been on my short list of people that I wanted to get on here to have a great conversation. And today we're talking about the tackling all of the things of the heart that makes relationships thrive. Sometimes things hold us back. And I think we're going to be exploring some wonderful topics. So let's just dive right in, everybody.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, before we dive in, I do have to do some housekeeping stuff. I have to because I don't want to get in trouble with my husband and all of that.
I cannot save you.
Oh my gosh. So I just want to tell everybody, you know what's happening today, many of you, because you text the word love, LOVE, to 87948. A lot of you receive text message and information about when I have really wonderful guests on, like today. And of course, I'm a licensed therapist and I'm a couples coach. And if you want to work with me, you can contact me at Coaching with Dr. Alicia. And of course, you can follow me on all my social media, YouTube, TikTok, even Instagram. When I got a chance, I will post information on there when I have opportunity, because I am a full-time college professor and we're starting back at school. But you can find me at Coaching with Dr. Alicia. And so anyway, I just wanted to say those things, and now we can dive right on in. And I want to say hello to everybody who all is in here. Let us know your name and where you're coming from, everybody in the chat. I see y'all kind of, you guys are kind of coming in here for a little bit, but let's get right into it. I want to know, Shar, I want you to start us off by just telling us, what do you think the biggest challenge is for people in modern relationships? What's the biggest challenge? Why are they not getting along?
You know what? That's a very good question. Thank you. I feel like it has a lot to do with people not knowing themselves. And I feel like when you don't know yourselves, then you don't know how to navigate yourself properly, but you definitely don't know how to navigate others properly, which in turn, you won't be able to navigate relationships properly.
So it's having this knowledge of who and what you are.
Yes.
And
what your purpose is.
And what your purpose is. Yes. That is really fascinating, because I see many people who get into a relationship with someone and they lose themselves.
Yes.
They don't know whether they're coming or going. Yes. And they start to get into things just because their partner gets into it, because they went into the relationship just wanting somebody to like them.
That's right.
And
That's right.
they just like, oh, somebody likes me, so I guess I'll like them too and give them a
Right.
chance. And then they lose themselves or whatever they could be to attach themselves with another person.
Yes. Because I feel like a lot of times what happens is when they don't know themselves, they end up getting obsessed with the person that they are in congruency with. But in reality, they put themselves on the back burner and they forget about who they really are, what their mission is. And so they become consumed and obsessed with someone. So then it's like you can be obsessed with your person, right? But then there is sometimes where it's too much and you end up breaking down that bond and that connection because you get yourself all overwhelmed, you get yourself anxious, but in return, it also rubs off on the other person as well.
Gosh, okay, anxious and overwhelmed because you want to like enmesh yourself so much into the life of another person, and you're so focused on the other that you can't even get yourself together. And
Right.
that is putting too much responsibility on another person.
That's right. Exactly. And it is. But you know what? Okay. So then just to piggyback off of that, what happens is you end up having this anxious attachment style or you end up having separation anxiety. And I'm actually writing a book on that right now because, well, it's almost finished because I have dealt with that myself. So as much as I'm talking to you guys like I've dealt with it myself, I'm walking myself through it right now.
Oh boy, experience is a good teacher,
Yes,
boy.
it is.
And guess what? You don't get it right. You keep repeating it over and over again. And then you start wondering what's wrong with everybody. But really, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Because like my grandma would say, wherever you go, there you are. You keep going around the tree. You keep going around the tree until you get it.
Oh, see, I'm so happy I got you here today because you walk around and I've seen so much pain and hurt online because we do have this sort of online battle of the sexes. And I see women who've been hurt, like legitimately hurt, and they get online and they make all of these nasty comments, derogatory comments about men in general,
Yes.
which I just look at the hurt and the pain underneath that. And then I see a lot of men go online. They've
Yeah.
been hurt and it hasn't been processed and it hasn't been dealt with
Yeah.
over and over again. They don't see their part in
That's
things.
right.
It's a dynamic thing. And
Yes.
then I see them pointing the finger, women ain't right, and modern women, and I'm gonna get my passport. Well, hello.
Oh my God. That's a whole nother can
The
of worms.
grass ain't greener on the other side because, like your grandmama said, you still carry yourself
That's right.
around.
That's right.
I
And
think
you know,
that is just so profound. I really love that. So the number one issue is that we lose ourselves and we're not able to find who and what we are.
yeah.
And then that's how you can really find if somebody is right for you or not.
Yes. And can I just speak to this really quick? The other flip side of that is that a lot of people don't take time to be by themselves. A lot of people don't take time to be quiet and get to know themselves. Therefore, they don't know what their purpose is. They don't have any goals. They're just like a leaf blowing in the wind. And so then when you have things on social media and they say, oh, there's the battle of the sexes. Oh, well, men are against women. In reality, I've always swayed against that just because it comes with a mindset. If you have a certain mindset and perspective, then you're going to think that way, right? But if you flip it to the other side and say, okay, well, what am I doing to add to it? What am I doing to make things better? What am I doing to make myself better, which causes the other people around me to be better? So a
Ah,
lot of times people will, again, not thinking for themselves, they will believe anything they read, anything they hear, anything they see online, when in reality they haven't even took the time to be by themselves to get to know themselves.
to be by themselves and get to know themselves. And you talked about this anxious attachment. It's
Yes.
like you're looking for someone else to validate you.
Yes. Yes.
You can't, like, why are you someone could say anything about me, because I know who I am. I
That's
have
right.
friends and family who knows who I am. You can say whatever you want. It's not going to, because I know you don't know me like everybody else does. So one comment is not going to ruin my day because you don't have that kind of power over me.
That's right.
And it takes a long time. Hey, we got anything in here, anything that's saying that's me, Miss Weak to be liked. Wanting to be liked
Wow.
is
Yeah.
something that you have to have that in you. Oh my gosh, look at the comments in here. Hey,
Wow.
good evening, everybody. I see everybody trickling in. How you doing? We're here talking about for all the people coming in, we're saying unmasking love. We're talking about relationship rescue, healthy conversation with Miss Shar Curry, everybody. Y'all, come on. And she says that the number, and I agree with her, the number one problem in modern relationships right now is getting into relationships and not knowing who and where you are. And we have peeled that layer back to talk about anxious attachment. We've talked about being okay, just being alone. I mean,
Yeah.
have you seen
Yeah.
that? People just go from one relationship to another and they don't even take time to spend time by
Yeah.
themselves and figure out what they want.
Right. So my grandma used to call it going from pillar to post. So go pillar to
Come
post.
on, grandma.
Or from lap to lap. I was raised by my great grandparents, and so yeah, I have a lot of that wisdom and those sayings in me. So they go from pillar to post, from lap to lap, from bed to bed, and try to get up underneath somebody. And they have that saying: the only way to get over someone else is to get underneath somebody else, right? So, but in reality, what happens is they will, they'll get out of one relationship or one connection, and they'll come right back into another without even taking time to process what they've been through, what they have done. And this is another thing. A lot of people, they want to always point the finger and blame the ex, but in reality, they have not looked in the mirror at themselves to figure out, okay, what did I learn about myself? What did I learn about the world? What did I learn about relationships? That's why those are three things I tell people. After you come out of a relationship, ask yourself, what did you learn about yourself in congruency with this person? What did you learn about relationships? And what did you learn about the world? You have to have time to reflect, or else you're going to continuously repeat the same things over and over.
Yeah, and I know so many people who will just overlap. They can see one relationship about to end, and then they get nervous and anxious, and they're like, what am I going to do? And then they'll start knowing that one relationship is about to end, then they'll start milking and start prepping and priming for another person so that there is no time by themselves because they can't handle it. It's just one overlapping monogamous. They'll be monogamous to the one person, serial monogamous relationship.
Yes. And you know what else they do? They go back to the ex because it's familiar.
Come on. You already have the history with them. You already know where the landmines are.
They got one in the back pocket. And I talk a lot about that because a lot of, and this, I'm the number one female advocate for him, but I noticed a lot of that with men. They'll say, well, you know what? She has this guy best friend, or she has, this guy that she won't stop communicating with, or they're sending DMs, or this person's still able to get in touch with her. And so what happens is a lot of them will keep one in the chamber, is what they call it. Keep one on the back burner in case something goes awry. And I think that's so wrong, because you will never be able to find the right person if you're always focusing on more than one at once. And a lot of them don't want to hear that right now. They don't want.
Yeah, because I have a lot of male clients, and men have a different issue than women do. Let's just face it. For a lot of men, there's such an ample supply of women. There's way more women out there who are looking for a relationship. But I think what happens is that a lot of men just get overwhelmed by all the choices that they have, that they end up feeling lonely. They're seeking for real intimacy, and they're finding it is very difficult to establish in this whole midst of all of these possible women they could get into a relationship with. Y'all just don't know. A lot of men are looking for intimacy. They really want a woman to be with him because they love them out of true love and true connection, not just somebody paying the bills.
That's right.
They seek that. I'm telling y'all, women, come on.
Yes. Okay. And really quick. Okay. So, and you said the guys, a lot of them are lonely, but to add on to that, a lot of them are confused because they have so many options. So then, it's just like, I see it like, how when someone is depressed, they have a hard time making decisions. And sometimes what happens is the men will have so many options that they don't know which way to fire off. But
Right.
also really quick to go back to what you said about the bills. A lot of what's put out there nowadays is for a woman to date the man's pockets or his wallet, and so therefore a lot of the women aren't willing to give true intimacy because they're not into that man for the right reasons.
Let me tell you, I say this all the time. A man is not an ATM machine. They
Come
do
on.
not want to be seen that way at all.
Yeah. And they want that nurturing, they want that femininity. And let me just say this too. A lot of us women, we have to, get back to that softer side, that nurturing side, that feministic side, if we want to find the mate that's right for us. Because a lot of times the women show up as they're wanting to be controlling, and I'm not talking about assertive, I'm talking about controlling. And
Yeah,
that's a turnoff to men. That's a turnoff to men.
yeah, men are turned
Mhm.
off by that. And really, if all of us could just, like you said before, which is so spot on, being comfortable just being by yourself,
Yeah.
you can get out of this fight or flight, this kind of
Yes.
scarcity, this fear mentality, and really feel whole in and of yourself. And then you won't approach a relationship in
Yeah.
that way. You'll be actually looking for someone that can complement you and you can complement them. It's a give and take. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not transactional.
It's
You
not.
know,
It's
that is not real intimacy. Mhm.
Yeah. And I noticed this a lot too. Is like, oh well, if she does this and I'm gonna do this. If he does this, I'm gonna do this. So it's like they go tit for tat, and then everybody's miserable.
Oh,
Everybody's miserable. And they always want to talk about, well, I give 100, I give this. Nobody's ever going to be at 100%, because there's going to be some days where I'm at 3% because I'm going through something. There's going to be some days where you're at 50 and I'm at 6. Like I don't feel like there's ever a 50-50 or 100-100, because you guys balance each other out. And a lot of people don't, I don't feel like a lot of them understand that. Like, you're supposed to have your balance. When you're not able to pick everything up, then your person comes. And sometimes you guys have to work together because both of you guys are down. So it's a matter of compromise, and knowing who you are and showing up for your person and being selfless when you show up for them.
and when you do that, you're building trust,
That's
you're
right.
building commitment.
Yeah.
You actually feel like you have a friend in another person. You actually do.
Yeah.
And how wonderful is it that you could face this world knowing that you have another person that you can count on,
Yeah. Yeah.
that genuinely loves you, that can
Yes.
help you. And I
Yeah.
like Jen was saying unconditional love. I like that. Unconditional love, in a sense where it's not, see, let me make it clear.
Yep.
Unconditional love does not mean you can walk all over me and I'm gonna be with you no matter what. Unconditional love is just what it is. It's loving someone unconditionally because you know yourself. You can actually love someone. That doesn't mean take abuse and take emotional strain. And we ain't trying to have no struggle relationship. We're talking about unconditional love in its healthiest way.
Yeah.
That
And
is beautiful. Go ahead.
and really quick, my spiritual father imparted something to me a few years ago, and I said, Pop, and he's about 80. I said, Pop, what's the number one piece of relationship advice that you would give? And he said, no matter what, always look at yourself first before you look at your person. So look at yourself in the mirror first to figure out what you can be doing better. What is it that you need to be doing?
You know, I really do. Reason why I agree with that so much, I think that you enter into all types of relationships. You are a mother. We were talking about parenting before we came on. You are a daughter. You are a coworker. All of these relationships that you have in your life that you navigate. But I really think that the intimate relationship you have with a significant other, it is unique. You
Yeah.
can't compare that type of relationship
Right.
with
Right.
anything
Right.
else. And because that's your comfort person, that's the person that you're going to project. That's the person where things that
Absolutely.
you are uncomfortable with
Yes.
can be projected onto your significant other that you
Yes.
don't do with anybody else.
You know what? Regardless, like, even though it's in, um it's still, whether here nor there, sometimes you're going to hurt your person by the things you say or you do, but we
Yes.
don't have to make a habit out of it, because we can always look in the mirror and figure out what we need to fix about ourselves, whether it's the tone, whether it's compromising and doing something different than what they're used to, or something that they bring up and is a concern for them, and you're not willing to bend a little bit. And so we have to be, if you want to be with somebody long term, you have to be selfless, or else it's never going to work.
Oh my goodness. And if you do something and your partner is bold enough and brave enough to come to you and tell you, that hurt me,
Yeah.
what you did hurt me, I say, you stop everything that you're doing and you focus on your partner, because if you did something inadvertently, even if your partner has made it up, you stop and you explore that with
That's
them. And
right.
if you can't stop in that
Right.
moment, you say, hey, thank you for coming to me and telling me that
Yeah.
something I did hurt you. I don't have time to talk about it right now, but it is so important to me that we're going to address this. Like,
Yeah.
to approach it in that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I was just talking to my husband the other day about how reactive people can be.
Yes.
You sitting there, you hurt me, and all of us have a tendency to do what? Get
But
defensive.
you, but
But you
you,
did this and you did that. And next thing you know, it's not even a productive argument anymore. It becomes like explosive when you just sit and say, okay, you felt like I hurt you. Explain it to me more. What does that mean? When I said something, I'm not coming up. We know that you're probably not coming from a place where you want to hurt another
right,
person,
right,
but that's how they actually felt. And so it's not your job to diminish that and
right,
to push them away and
right.
to minimize the fact that you did something to make them uncomfortable.
Yes. And let's talk about this really quick, because I feel like a lot of times what happens is they will deflect, project, or try to disregard, but in reality, what you're doing is you're setting your person up to not trust you.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, it
setting yourself up
erodes
to fail.
trust.
Yeah.
It's you have to build in healthy relationships. You have to keep that person safe emotionally.
Yes. Yes.
They matter.
Yes. Absolutely.
This is what you model for children in the home. Need to witness this.
Yes, absolutely. And even to add further, Dr. Alicia, it also goes along with not only apologizing, but taking accountability for yourself. Hey, you know what? I know I said that and I was wrong and I apologize. But then also ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
Ask for forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the number one things that is going to help you thrive in a healthy relationship. Because if you are holding on to stuff, because I know people that I know people in their 80s that are holding on to stuff, and they're still mad at their parents. Their parents are dead and gone. They're mad at their friends from kindergarten. Like, people hold on to stuff, and what happens is they don't understand how much that eats up at them, and it can also affect your organs and just your whole psyche, everything.
Girl, you are saying a thing. That is so good. And it's so funny because forgiveness is not just saying, I'm sorry. Like, forgiveness is listening, it's trying to understand another person. It's wow. It's saying, gosh, if I was you, I would feel the same way. It's validating. Maybe
Empathy.
I'm sorry, but it's also making amends,
Yeah.
saying, you know what? I promise you from here on out, I won't do that again because I can see how much that hurt you. And I'm persuaded to change and adjust based on what you just said. And so that's how you make amends. You want to, at the end of the whole thing, is you're supposed to be closer together, not further apart.
Yes. Absolutely. And even to take it further, because sometimes they'll forgive, individuals will forgive, but then they'll still carry it. So just for
Let
my
it
own,
go.
yes, and just from my own experience and from working with others, I encourage people to journal about it. Journal about what that forgiveness looks like to you, because sometimes everybody learns differently, and everybody soaks up things differently. Sometimes you may not get the forgiveness and right the first time just doing it verbally, but when you write it, it's like it gets in here. It gets in here.
Yes.
So you're able to remember, like, okay, hey, I did this. Like, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to my person.
Yeah. And if you journal about it, and you start connecting how is this reminiscent of a
Mm,
past situation, and start really connecting to these patterns, because you'll notice the pattern. That's why I love the journaling. You recognize these patterns, and
yes,
that's how you can, just like at the beginning of our conversation tonight, like Shar Curry said, y'all listen to her. She said, you have to know yourself. And
yes,
that's what the journaling does.
yes,
You create a self-awareness,
yes.
insight into yourself
That's right.
through your significant relationship. I really do believe that you learn so much about life,
Yes,
about the world around you, and
yes.
about yourself. And I don't know any other way to do it than in a significant relationship, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. And I've always encouraged this because I've been a journaler since I was a kid. I have like over 30 years worth of journals. So, oh yeah, I have tons. I wish I had the music. Actually, I have so many, but it has helped me in so many different ways. It has helped me to see within myself. It has helped me to forgive others. It has helped me to be a better person, a better mother, a better, better in my career field, a better encourager, a better advisor. It's helped me all across the board because I know who I am.
Ah, and some people just don't stop this rat race long enough to stop and just think about everything. I mean, to get into a habit of journaling is going to require you to focus on yourself and give yourself self-care. To
Yes,
be able to journal, you have to create time, you have to create space. A lot of people just don't make the time to do that.
right.
And I mean, just that process alone is just, it's not therapy, but it's therapeutic. And that's good enough for a lot of us.
Exactly. And can I just say that it and something that I teach on Dr. Alicia is that it is therapy because therapy can come in different it can
Oh,
come in different ways. So I do this thing where I call it freeway therapy. Sometimes when I'm in my thing, I'll get on the freeway, I'll just drive. So sometimes I do beach therapy. I'll go to the beach. That's my favorite place. And sometimes I'm journaling. And I'm writing a book. It's called Journaling Yourself to Freedom. So this
oh,
this is something that has worked for me and it has worked. Like I love therapy. I still go to therapy now, but at the end of the day, sometimes different things that we're going through and at different times and different eras call for different measures. So
yes.
it definitely is because in truth be told, there was a time where I was journaling and I went from writing a suicide note to writing a prayer all in one sentence, and that's how I got out of the depression I was in. So
Oh,
journaling, journaling works. And,
oh,
and and really, really quick, one more thing. Don't get discouraged. If you don't write in your journal every single day, do not get discouraged because sometimes it comes in waves. A lot of people get discouraged because I forgot to journal 2 days. Oh, I forgot to journal 2 months. It's okay. Do it when you feel like it, but also make sure that you have self-discipline and self-control within yourself because that's going to help you in real life when you don't have that journal aspect right there.
yeah. If you set up a system of journaling, embedded in that is the discipline that it takes to be able to stop and think. And God, Shar, you must have been in a lot of pain.
Oh my gosh, it was yeah, it was horrific. And rest in peace to both of my parents. They're both gone. And what I was doing was I was upset because my mother wasn't there. I was upset because my father wasn't there. So I harbored all this anger. I had all
Oh,
this anger and resentment and bitterness and all these different emotions I didn't even understand back then. And I just let them take over me. I succumbed to the depression for almost a year. I
yeah.
stayed.
Yeah, for a year. And there's a lot of people. And that's the thing. That's the reason why not to be reactive to so many people, because you never know what they're going through, their secret
Right.
struggles and their battles. A lot of times somebody is not really reacting to you. They really are just dealing with their own sort of issues.
Yes.
And so it's important not to internalize if
Yes.
someone treats you a certain way,
Right.
is to just see through some of that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's so true. And tell people all the time. And this goes back to how I overcame anxiety and I would have panic attacks and I would, I had really bad social anxiety. I would have to go to the grocery store out in public at either like 5 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock at night when there wasn't that many people. And I did that for years. And I started to do mirror talk. I started to do self-talk. I started to journal it. They're not worrying about you. They're not thinking about you. They're not worrying about. And I would say it inside my head so I wouldn't get anxious in the store. And I just kept on pushing through to where the fear left. So, it's imperative that we tap into whatever we need to, whether that's self-talk, whether it's getting in the mirror, whether it's journaling. You have to find your space and your peace and your joy and your freedom in this world, because people are gruesome out here, because they are looking at you as in a physical form, but they don't understand what's going on, what may be going on inside of you. And they take
Yes.
it personally.
They do take it personally. And hey, everybody, there's more people coming in here, Shar, listening to us. I just want to say, welcome everybody to Healing Conversation. We're talking about healthy relationships, and really it starts with yourself. That's what we're talking about today. Hit the like button, share this with people that you feel would really benefit from this conversation. Okay. And before I go on, yes, Juanita is up here talking. She's saying kindness to one another goes a very long way. We got people in the chat here. Oh, we got a question. Heather Lee. Hey, Heather. She's saying, what happens if writing is uncomfortable for my mate to do? For the mate. She's talking about her mate.
So you know what? You have to allow them the space and grace to do what they need to do for themselves. A lot of times, what happens is we want to kind of push what works for us onto our person, and we
Mhm.
have to give our mate space and grace. You can, suggest things, but never think that your way is the only way to do something. So if your mate isn't ready to start writing stuff out, then let your mate do whatever they see fit as therapy for them in those moments. As long as they're not hurting anybody physically, emotionally, psychologically, then you have to let your person just be.
Yeah, and if they're uncomfortable doing something, then that's okay. It's not for them right in this moment. This is not the season for them to be writing. And the best thing you could do is to show your partner, some patience
Yeah.
and show them, okay, now is not the time. Maybe there's other things that they can do that's therapeutic. It doesn't have to be writing for everybody. Most of us, it is, but it doesn't have to be. I know many people who write, and so for other people, there's other ways where they
Yeah.
can reflect. You talked about looking in the mirror. There's other methods, but the end goal is for knowing yourself and
Yes.
who and what you are.
Yes. And
Mhm.
and this Heather said, any suggestions or different options? Absolutely. So, there's talk therapy. There
Mhm.
is, like I was just explaining earlier, some people, they heal by being out in nature. Some
Yes,
people do walk therapy, some people paint. So all there's all these different therapeutic measures. So you might what I would suggest, Heather, is you Google a list of different ways that are different things that are therapeutic, and then you can present the list to him, and you could even highlight a couple of things on the list that you think that he would enjoy. But
or they
also,
can do it together.
yes, absolutely. But also, make sure no matter what, even if your person doesn't want to do therapy right in that moment, make sure you're showing up for them. Do things and create a therapeutic environment. Create peace.
Yes,
Massage them. Be sensual with them. Make sure you're showing up in whatever way your person needs you to show up in. That's therapeutic.
that is absolutely therapeutic, and I'm certain your partner will will appreciate all of that. What do you think? Like, I'm just curious. Like, what do you think individuals can do when they notice, almost like Heather, they notice, or maybe not Heather, but they'll notice that there's these unhealthy patterns in their relationship, which to me is the best type of couple for me to work with, are
Yes.
people who are a couple that can sit down with themselves, with each other, and say, this cycle is not working anymore, and we need to break this pattern. That's
Right.
when you know you're ready for couples therapy. But what can couples do to unbreak healthy patterns that are holding them back? What do you
Um,
suggest?
I always say this: no matter what, you can go through couples therapy and couples, counseling and stuff like that. But no matter what, you always have to be willing to work on yourself individually, so that way you can come back together and be stronger. And so, as much as we want to go to, couples sessions and couples therapy, and I'm for that, right? I do that myself. But at the end of the day, I feel like you have to be better for yourself individually, so that way you can come together and be stronger. You know what I mean? And it boils down to the fact that, am I going to be selfless enough to work on myself?
Mhm.
Because when your partner presents something to you, A lot of times people, like we talked about before, they'll get defensive. They'll say, oh, well, you this, you that. Okay, well, sometimes we have to just be quiet and listen. Be quiet and listen. And don't get defensive if your partner takes notes, because if my partner is saying something to me, then I want to remember it because I want to work on it. So I'm going to take notes. I'm going to take notes on what that looks like. I'm going to take notes on the specific things, so that way, okay, so can you break this one down? What does that look like to you as far as me being healthier for you and for myself within the right relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it writing it down means you're taking what they're saying seriously. Like
Yes.
that is a sign of the ultimate level of respect. It's saying, what you're saying is so important to me. I want to be able to go back to this. I'm writing it all down. I mean,
Yeah.
that is really great. And I love these patterns, this self-awareness that comes when people know that the pattern that we are in right now, it is not working anymore. I'm doing this and you're doing that, and I do this. What typically happens, and then it goes to a place where it is not helpful for either one of you, which is usually someone yelling, storming off, getting in the car, driving away, whatever it is, to protect themselves.
Yes.
And they need to be able to notice and then try something different.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so hard. I really think defensiveness is probably, out of all the maladaptive behaviors, defensiveness is so tough to
Yes.
break
Yes.
because it is a habit that has been developed in childhood.
Yes.
When
Absolutely.
you feel scorned, when you feel criticized, and you felt like you had to defend yourself.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
this is why I tell parents, be sure because our job as parents is to give discipline and correct kids so that we can send them off into the world with some home training.
That's right.
But you have to be able to let them know that it's the behavior that you're focused on, not them as a person. So I used to say to my children, you are too good for this. Like, you are a wonderful person. The behaviors that you're doing is unacceptable.
Yes.
You're better than this. Because I'm
Yes.
trying to instill in them a sense of confidence in who
Yes.
and what they are, but at the same time, they got to have consequences, and they
Right.
have to tell
Absolutely.
them, you got to break this pattern that you're doing in your behavior. But fast forward, when they're in relationships, they have to be able to carry that forward in
That's
healthy
right.
relationships.
That's right. And even a lot of times what I recognize is the fact that individuals will be in denial that they need to fix anything. So
Mm,
that's the other thing. A lot of times you can go to therapy and go to therapy and go to therapy, and you can keep on going to therapy. But if you are in denial, then you're still going to keep on experiencing the same thing. And a lot of people are so much in denial, but also coupled with the fact that they don't like change. They're not comfortable with change. And
oh,
anything that feels like betterment, or that feels like it's changing, they scurry, they get anxious, and they kind of, come unglued sometimes. So that's another thing as well.
yeah, change is really hard for people because they associate change with this unknown, and things become ambiguous, and you don't
Yes.
know what it's going to be. Sometimes you're comfortable even with things that aren't working. You get so comfortable that when something new happens, you get nervous. It's like
Yes.
fear that's there. And so change creates so much anxiety for so many people. I'm talking to
Yes.
my daughter now, and she's
Mhm.
got to move. I mean, look, she's born and raised, well, she was born in Florida, but she's spent most of her life in Illinois.
Yeah.
And here
Mhm.
she is, she's got to go to Tuskegee, where the climate is different. It's going to be hot.
Goodness. Oh my
She
goodness.
doesn't know what to expect. We're driving down tomorrow. All
Mhm.
of these things are happening. And I'm like sitting there telling her, you can do this. You can
Yes.
adjust. You have it in your ability to adjust. Everything will be fine. Look at all these other people that went to this university. They graduated. They did okay. If they can do it, you for sure can do it because you got support. And
Yes.
you don't have to do it on your own. So it's that I'm showing her. You have faced adversity and you've overcome things. You can do it now. So
Yes. Yes. And I promise you, even, and you know what we always say, do it afraid. and she's gonna master it. Give her a couple of she's gonna master it.
It's normal to be a little, ooh,
It's supposed
worried.
to be.
Oh my gosh. I really love this. How I'm wondering, like, because we are going to talk about, for people who are joining us, I got Shar Curry in here. Y'all listen to her, follow her, listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. And we're talking about unmasking love, relationship rescue. And by the way, I got the title from this show from one of your books because I was reading the description and I'm like, she's talking about unmasking. You have some books about unmasking. Break that down for us. What is this unmasking? And
Okay,
I know we've been kind of talking about this already, but
so yes, this book right here is it's called Masks: Why We Wear Them and the Effects They Have on Our Day-to-Day Lives. It talks about childhood trauma, parental heartache, forgiveness, how to let go, why we tend to wear the emotional mask instead of letting it go. And so a lot of it stems from childhood trauma. A lot of it stems from childhood stuff that went on, and
yes.
even because one of the number one things in relationships is always going to be communication, if you ask me.
Mhm.
So, and my thing is this: most of us grew up in households where we were taught to be seen and not heard. So what happens is, as children, we are taught to be quiet and just be seen. But in reality, when you become an adolescent or young adult or full blown adult, you don't know how to properly communicate if you haven't learned that or taught yourself, because you were always taught to be quiet in your household. So that's the reason why I always allowed my children to speak. They're never disrespectful, ever, ever, ever. I'm so grateful. My children are the best children. But you have to give them a voice while they're young, so that way they can grow up and be productive, properly communicating citizens and spouses. And a lot of people don't understand that. They be like, I don't know why he doesn't know how to, because he was probably taught to be quiet as a child, or she was taught to be quiet as a child.
Gosh, I'm coming out of my chair, Char, because you don't understand how spot on this is. Look, when you let your children speak their mind, it lets you know, it lets them know that number one, they matter. Because when your thoughts and feelings matter, that means you matter as a person. So when they grow up and they get into relationships, they're going to learn to honor and respect other people's thoughts and feelings because they grew up in an environment where everybody matters.
Yes. Yes.
And they're going to be able to speak. Like, it's so interesting in as a couples therapist how I'm just like, is that what you wanted from your partner? They can't read your mind. I can't read your mind. I don't know what you want. You have to be able to speak and articulate it
Yeah.
and not be at a place where you just feel like someone is supposed to just know what to do. People
Right.
don't know what to do.
Right.
And you're walking around doing things wrong and you don't even know your partner hasn't even communicated that to you. So it's important to know that you matter, your thoughts and feelings matter, and it has a good sense of self when you're
Yeah.
coming into relationships. That is so spot on. Oh my gosh.
And your voice matters. Don't ever allow anybody else to make you think that your voice doesn't matter. Whatever it is that's a concern to you, make sure you voice that. And we don't do the woulda, shoulda, couldas. If something is on your mind, say it properly and communicate that. But don't get so bogged down with your own thoughts and feelings, and you keep them to where you struggle to open up, or either you stuff them down so much to where you make yourself anxious and depressed. It's not worth it. So that and just to go back to the childhood stuff, there's also that fear. So when you tell the kids to be quiet, there's that fear of speaking too, because even when they know that they're supposed to be speaking, because kids are very smart. And so there's that fear. And so a lot of people have a fear of communicating with their spouse now because they used to get in trouble for it as a child.
Oh my God. And here's the thing, it's like the fear is all over. It's like, I
Yes.
know what I want from her or him, and having the courage to speak up
Yes.
and say what you want,
Hmm.
what you need from another person.
Yes.
And
Yes.
suppose that person says, yes, I'll give it to you. That creates even more fear because you're like, okay, you got to sit and wait for them to give it to you now. It's like the responsibility is all for you now, and it's on them to now follow through with what they agreed to do. And
Yes.
that can be very nerve-wracking for a lot
Yes.
of people who are used to being disappointed and
That's
let
right.
down and
That's
made to
right.
feel like they're not important. So
Yes.
it's interesting. It's like we expect our children to grow up and be in these healthy relationships, but
Mm.
they're not even comfortable. You didn't create an environment where they are able to put into words how they're feeling and what they want. And then when they get older in a relationship, they end up acting out just like a child.
Yes, exactly. Because they're not used to it. They're not used to communicating properly. They're used to, hearing communication or hearing something that they didn't like and lashing out, reacting instead of communicating. So a lot of couples are right now at odds and miserable with one another because one or the other or both do not know how to communicate properly. We should do a class on
We should, because it is tough.
that.
A lot of fear underneath that. It's like, what if they reject me? Or what if they think I'm stupid for wanting this? Or what if they think you're just so worried about what someone else thinks of you just by having a need that's unmet, being vulnerable?
Yes. Yes.
It's so
Yeah,
tough.
it
Oh my
is.
God.
It is. Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
okay. So yeah, and I don't know. This is just really a great conversation, everybody. Oh, we're at the top of the hour. I don't want to hold you on too much, Shar. I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Oh my God. Today's conversation was about unmasking love, relationship rescue, and unmasking. Y'all got to get Shar Curry's workbooks. You got to get on with her because she's given us an incredible conversation. She's spot on. Hello. We've unpacked all of these challenges that we have in relationships. We have talked about, I was taking notes. I told Shar I was taking notes. You
Yes.
have got to figure out how to know yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror. I say, look yourself in the mirror butt naked.
Yeah,
Get
they're right. You gotta love all of you.
from head to toe. Get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Have yourself some alone time. You need to have that. Even if you're in a relationship, you do need to have yourself alone time to get to know who you are. We talked about being hurt in relationships, how to talk about that, how to articulate that. We've talked about forgiveness, y'all. And what Shar has done is journaled her pain that she went through, and it helped her. And I think it'll help everybody to get y'all buy a journal, get a journal and get into journaling because that's discipline for yourself. What did I leave? Did I leave anything out, Shar?
I have the men's and women's journals. That's one of my books.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I have the men's and women's journal, and then I have the two books. But yes, I don't care if it's a notebook. I don't care if it's sticky notes.
yes,
Start to write. Start to write. I'm telling you, you get it out of you, and you will realize how much weight is lifted off of you. Really,
yes. And this is self-care. As far as I'm concerned, this is self-care.
it is.
Yes, and not enough people get into this self-care. Look at Tanya. Tanya's like, yes, we got to do a class, girl. I lost my son last year. I'm so sorry. My next one is having problems with me too. Oh my goodness, Tanya. Oh gosh. Heart, let's send hearts to Tanya here. I really wish you the best here and join us. Be sure, everybody, because we're going to have more conversation. I'll bring Shar Curry back on, y'all, because
Yes.
amazing. Hello. And so if you enjoy everything you've heard today and learned something, hit the like, hit the share button, share this with somebody that you think could benefit from this. Really. Text love, LOVE, to 87948. You get a text message when I go live. I will go live every Monday. I try to, but sometimes life is life and it's okay. And anybody that wants to work with me, I work with couples and individuals. You can go to coachingwithdralicia.com, fill out one of the intakes, and somebody on my team will get back to you and we'll book a session real fast. And then, of course, you can follow me on social media. I'm going to put something up. I'm putting some stuff up there that'll be pretty cool. Coaching with Dr. Alicia at Coaching with Dr. Alicia, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook and Instagram. I got to post on the gram. I don't have a Twitter account and I don't have LinkedIn. I just cannot manage. Let me tell you, I cannot manage. Y'all, I got a full-time job, everybody, as a college professor. So my semester is starting. I am just wearing all the hats. But I am so happy to have Shar here with us. Any last minute words, any valuable insights that you want to part before we close up tonight?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Alicia. Always an honor, always a pleasure. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for having me. Sending love and hugs. And you guys have to understand this. Just this last thing. No matter what it looks like to anybody else, always do what's best for yourself. As long as you're not hurting anybody psychologically, mentally, physically, do what's best for you. Don't allow anybody else to think for you. Learn how to think for yourself.
Think for yourself. This is good. When you have issues with other people, the first thing Shakura is telling you, and her grandmama told you this too, is to look at yourself. Grandma knows best.
That's right. That's
So
right.
that is so true. And have fun, everybody. I would love for, if this resonated with you, I want to hear what you got to say. Comment in the chat. You can share the link with other people. Let's get the community out here because we need to talk about healthy relationships. Healing is possible. Love is worth the effort. Stay
Right.
empowered, everybody. Stay connected. We'll see you again next week. Next Monday, we'll see you again. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.